Yo, what's going on? Welcome to the In Between the Lines podcast. I'm your host, Daryl. So, this is my first episode. And the podcast is pretty much, or what you can expect from this podcast is going to be talking about sports, pretty much my opinion, but my opinion on things that's happening around college football and the NFL football world. So, um, my favorite team is my favorite college team is my LSU Tigers. Go Tigers! And then my favorite pro team is the Philadelphia Eagles. So I know people are gonna bust my chops about why the hell I like the LSU Tigers, but I don't love the Saints, and my reasoning is because when I got into football, my reasoning for liking the Eagles over the Saints is I always pretty much did play football, but I never really watched football per se. And my brother, right when it was time for me to go to when it was time for me to go to high school, he said, "Hey man, you should try to find a person in the NFL who you pretty much would look up to or wish that you could play like." So started watching some football, right? And then I saw Brian Dawkins, right? Number 20 from the Eagles, the Hall of Famer. I saw him lay out a wide receiver from the Carolina Panthers. And I was like, that's who I want to try to be like. That's who I want to try to play like, right? And so I just stuck with the Eagles ever since then. And even before I'm from Louisiana, born and raised, but before I fell in love with LSU, I didn't watch much college football. And then LSU played the Texas Longhorns. We lost that game, but that's when I kind of fell in love with, the purple and gold, and that Tiger team from, Baton Rouge. So that's my story, right? So love the Eagles, love LSU, and I pretty much plan on, talking about, things that's happening around the NFL world and things that's happening around the LSU Tigers. Mainly the football team. I wouldn't call myself a sports fan. I'm a football fan. I pretty much watch NFL football and college football. And then once those two sports are done, I'm done. I don't watch basketball or baseball or anything like that. So wouldn't say I'm a sports fan, but I'm a football fan. So yeah, just wanted to, make this introduction video. Just tell everyone, welcome to, the podcast. Really, really would appreciate, support. Let me know what I'm doing wrong. Let me know what I'm doing right. Give me a like, comment, subscribe, and let's grow this thing together. So without saying anything else, I'm going to roll into the first topic. And the first topic, we're going to be talking about, the LSU Tigers, right? And I'm going to be going through my list of, I'm going to say top, my personal favorite LSU Tigers, right? So we're going to be going from quarterback all the way to safety. So we're going to be touching every position besides the O-line, right? So we're going to be mainly talking about a lot of the skill positions, but I'm gonna pick I want to say my all-time favorite in each position, and I'm gonna do two, but obviously we're not gonna do the offensive line. So let's see. If we start off with quarterbacks, right? My top all-time favorite quarterbacks for LSU, me personally, right? From the time I started watching LSU to now, would obviously be, Joe Burrow, right? Because he was the quarterback and the leader of arguably the best college football team of all times. I know people debate all the time on social media about, was it, Miami? Was it an Alabama team? Was it a USC team? Vice versa. But for me, being a Louisiana boy through and through, I'm going to say that LSU team in 2019 was, and Joe Burrow was that guy. He was the guy to deliver to, he delivered us, right, a perfect season and an awesome win and victory in the national championship versus Clemson in New Orleans, right? And then I would have to say my second favorite quarterback of all time is the quarterback that's at LSU now, Jaden Daniels, right? Jaden Daniels transferred in from the Pac-12 from Arizona, out of Arizona, and when I first went on YouTube to look at his highlights, I'm like, man, this dude's slim, right? But he can throw it and he can run. So I gave him the name Slim Cam Newton, right? People probably, when I said this to a few LSU fans, they looked at me like I had a horn growing out of my forehead. But, hey, man, I remember Cam Newton running all over the SEC, right? Running with his legs, and then if he couldn't run, he was killing us with his arm, right? And I think Jaden Daniels is to me, I think he's a Slim Cam Newton. I expect really big things from JD. I really like his style, man. I like his swag. He don't get too low and he don't get too high. He's even headed, man. I really like the kid. He seems like a really good kid. Be nice if I can meet him, but chances of that happening are very, very slim. But yeah, so that's my to me, that's my personal, that's my best. That's who I favorite the most, right? Moving on to running back, I'm going to have to say my favorite running backs of all time for myself would be Leonard Fournette, right? The man-child. There's stories of Leonard Fournette not being able to play, rec ball because he was just too big. He was just too physical. I think the first time I heard about Leonard Fournette I was actually watching Leonard Fournette play. I was watching him play a game, and he was just, I forgot who he was playing against. I don't know if he was playing against St. Thomas More. I don't know who the hell they was playing against. It was in high school, but he just seemed like a man amongst boys, you know what I mean? And I was like, dang. And then, it was always, LSU was always, a team that he was thinking about, committing to, but I really started paying attention to, his recruitment or whatever. And I was so happy that he committed to LSU at that Under Armour game. And I mean, you can check Leonard Fournette's, record at LSU. The dude was a beast, man. The dude ran over so many people, ran through so many people, right? The dude was just a beast, right? For the sake of this video, I'm not gonna go on and on, but y'all know who Leonard Fournette was at LSU. Don't act like you don't know his reputation. And then I would have to say my second favorite running back is Jeremy Hill, man. Jeremy was that dude, man. That is like, I feel like every game Jeremy Hill played at LSU, if he was healthy, he had a big game, man. I just remember watching him, and I was like, man, Jeremy gonna break a long run. You feel what I'm saying? And it just sucks that, he didn't have a longer career in the NFL. I know he had some injuries or whatever, but to me, Jeremy Hill is a all-time great at LSU, and for me personally, he's up there with my favorite running backs all times from LSU. All right, now not gonna do fullbacks, right? LSU had a lot of good fullbacks. Not gonna do fullbacks. Let's go with wide receivers, right? So we know LSU has had a plethora of great wide receivers, right? Crazy, right? Dwayne Bowe, Ruben Rando, Derek Henderson, Early Doucette, Ruben Rando, right? Odell, Jarvis, Jamar Chase, Terrence Marshall, Justin Jefferson. We are wide receiver U, but my personal favorites are Odell Beckham, right? Was rocking with Odell ever since he was wearing number 33 as a freshman. You know what I mean? And I would say, so this gonna be crazy, right? I know what everyone's thinking, that I'm probably gonna go with either Jefferson or Chase. But they was dogs. Now, don't get me wrong, them boys, they great, they elite, they was elite, right? and they're probably on if you had to put together, if you had to poll maybe, I'll say 1,000 people, I would say pretty much everyone would probably have Chase and Jefferson 1 and 2 right on their list. But I'm gonna go with Terrence Marshall, and the reason why is because Terrence Marshall was he could have went to any college he wanted to, right? But he stayed home, he stayed local, and he played for LSU. And I just think that he had some injuries. I think he had a foot injury, and then he had another injury, and it kind of like it slowed him down a little bit, and I think it took him out of the limelight, especially that national championship year, right? Because he got hurt, and he came back, and he still had double-digit touchdowns, and he still had over 1,000 yards receiving, and he, in that national championship, he acted ass for himself, and in every game that he played in, he showed up, right? And I like his style, right, man. Something about Terrence Marshall, right? I just like his style. I like how he approached the game at LSU. Sucks that he's on the Carolina Panthers, but let's he really his rookie year he didn't really do much, and then toast the end of it all, he started putting it together, like he started flashing, right? So I expect big things from Terrence Marshall and the Carolina Panthers. Hopefully, him and Bryce Young can connect and can be a great duo. The Carolina Panthers also have DJ Chark, so it's an LSU thing going on, right? So hopefully those guys link up and we see good things from Terrence Marshall. But yeah, Odell and Terrence Marshall, and we're gonna do one more category, right? And then we're gonna save the other categories for another episode. So we can say that this episode was the offensive side of the ball minus the offensive line. But so we did the quarterbacks, we did the running backs, we did the wide receivers, and now we're gonna do the tight ends, right? So the tight ends for me, I'm gonna roll with Mason Teller, right? The one that put the dagger in Alabama, right? Last season, right? That kid's a stud, man. Kid's a stud, right? His dad has NFL blood in him. His dad was NFL great, right? He could have went to a lot of different schools, right? He, instead of going to a school in Florida, he decided to come to LSU, and he instantly made an impact on the field, man. We had Arik Gilbert, right? And when he transferred, I was butthurt. I was like, damn. But then, man, Arik who, man? We got Mason Thomas now, man. Dude a beast, bro. Kid's a beast. He was a true freshman last year, right? So you already know he gonna come hard this year. He's put on weight, right? He's put on weight, good weight. He's put on muscle. He looks good. He's gonna be in year 2 in Brian Kelly's system, and I expect big things from him because we know Brian Kelly. Brian Kelly develops offensive linemen and tight ends, so I expect big things from the young boy. And then my second favorite tight end would be Randy Moss' son. I think his name is Thad Moss, right? The kid's a beast, man. He came to LSU. He had some injuries, right? He didn't see the field, and then he saw the field. He hit his stride at the right time during that national championship year. He had some big catches all season for us, and he had some big catches, and he showed off in the national championship game. And that's my dog, man. Another kid I wish I could meet. You know what I mean? But those two are my top tight ends of all time, personally for myself, right? I'm saying this personally for myself, right? Who I like all times since I started watching LSU. But obviously, you pull up stats, it's probably tight ends that's better stat-wise than, those two guys that I named. But I'm saying for me personally, right? Those are my top tight ends. And with that, like I said, we're going to jump into part 2 of, my list of all-time great Tigers. But today was just, the offensive side of the ball. So let's do a recap, right? Maybe someone might watch this video when they came late. Let's do a recap, right? So I said my top quarterbacks is Joe Burrow and Jaden Daniels. Running backs was Jeremy Hill, Leonard Fournette. Wide receivers was Odell Beckham and Terrence Marshall. And my tight ends was Mason Teller and Thad Moss. And we didn't do offensive linemen. So the next episode is going to be the defensive side of the ball. So definitely come back and watch that. Y'all want to come back and watch that. As always, I appreciate any future love and support that I get for, making content, making these videos. But for this video, please, if you're an LSU fan or an Eagles fan or just a football or a sports fan in general, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe. If you don't like it, don't subscribe. You know what I mean? Every little bit helps. Even if you have something negative to say, it helps, right? It's interaction. But also in the comment section below, tell me who y'all, favorite Tigers is, right? It don't have to be just one, right? Just let me know who your favorite Tigers is, from quarterback all the way to safety, right? Even if you got a special teams guy, right? Just let me know who your favorite LSU Tigers are of all times, right? Some of y'all are going to be a lot older. Some of y'all are going to be a little bit younger. I'm 37 years old. I started watching LSU, I think, in 2001. Obviously, I never watched Billy Cannon and some of the other guys like Cecilia Collins and those guys, right? Kevin Fark and all of them. I don't remember watching them, but this list was just my personal guys who I like all times. So, but you let me know who you like all times in the comment section below, and I will try to get back to all comments. But until next time, stay safe, God bless, and thank you for watching the In Between the Lines podcast. I'm out.